discussing the concept of abstract classes. Abstract class is a type of class that cannot be instantiated on its own. Instead, it serves as a blueprint, like we can use it as a template for other classes. So it is a special type of class which has at least one abstract method. It is a special type of class which has at least one abstract method. What is a abstract method? So abstract method is a method which has only definition part, but there is no implementation of that particular method, right? We cannot create any object of abstract classes. However, we can create object of subclasses of abstract class, subclasses or child classes of the abstract class. So abstract class are similar to a class, but we cannot create any object of this particular class. However, we can create any uh, child class of this particular abstract class and we can use its property. But for abstract classes, there is one primary condition. The primary condition is there must be at least one abstract method. Abstract method is a method which has only definition, but there is no implementation. All its implementation will be done in its child classes. Okay. Then we have one important properties of object-oriented programming, which is polymorphism. Polymorphism, very important property of object-oriented programming. Polymorphism means many forms. Many forms. Polymorphism means many forms. And if we have to define it more technically, we can say it is a characteristic. Polymorphism is a characteristics of being characteristics of being able to assign a different behavior or value in a child class. Child class to something that was declared in the parent class. For example, let's take an example. So I created a class for area. Okay, I created a class for calculating area. In this particular class, I created one abstract method. Okay, let's say I've created one abstract method, and I have given the name of this method as calculate area. Calculate area, right? This is a class I have created. Now I created two child classes of this particular class. So first one, let's say triangle, right? So in this triangle, when I created this child class, there is a mandatory condition. To implement all the abstract methods. So I am going to simply implement this calculate area here, right? I will implement this calculate area method here. So what is the area of a triangle? Half base into height, right? 0.5 base into height. This is how it was implemented in this particular class. Then I went to another class where this class is square. Let's say this is a square class. I also implemented this calculate area method here. Calculate area method. And here how it was implemented? Side into side, which is the area of a square. Side into side. So what is the meaning of polymorphism? Method is same, its declaration part is same, every definition and all these things of this particular class is same, but its behavior had changed when it was inherited to the child classes. So in the triangle it was implemented like half into base into height, and in the square it was implemented side into side. If I will take it to let's say rectangle, it will be implemented length into breadth, right? So method is same, but it is behaving differently into different classes. This is the property of object oriented programming, which is polymorphism, right? So in our ABAP programming, I will simply take a requirement to display both the abstract class and this polymorphism property. So a simple example, I will create a abstract class. Okay, create a abstract class and declare one abstract method into it. I will simply declare a abstract method into it. Let's say display sales order. I will declare a method display sales order. So then after I will create two child classes. So child one class will implement this method, and it will display the sales order header details, which is from VBAK table. It is going to simply display sales order header details from VBAK table. Then I will create a child2 class. It will also implement this method, and it will display the sales order item details from VBAP table. We already know that VBAP is the item table, right? So this is how we will see the property of this polymorphism. Same method created in the same class, but when it is getting inherited in header, it will do something else. But and it will be when it will be inherited into item, it will do something else. Okay, so let's see it practically. I will simply log in. Okay, I will do the simple login. So Z abstract class and polymorphism. Create abstract class and polymorphism. Type executable program. Assign the package and transport request. Okay, so we need to create a header abstract class. Let's create the abstract class. What will be its name? Let's say I'm naming it parent. Okay, definition, I will name this class as abstract. I'm going to simply name this class as abstract. Okay, then in the public section I will declare one abstract method. So method display sales order abstract. This is how we declare a abstract method with no implementation. So I will do the end class, and I will not have any implementation of this particular parent. If you go and check this syntax, you will not get any error. But if you will not define this method as abstract, then you will simply get an error. It will ask for the implementation of this particular method, right? It is simply going to ask the implementation of this particular method. So class parent definition abstract. Okay, then I will have a child1. So class child1, this is going to inherit it. Definition inheriting from the parent class and class. So this is a abstract class. You are inheriting it from the parent to child. So here we will have to redefine it, right? So I will simply do the redefinition here. Methods display sales order redefinition. We will redefine it here, and then we will have the implementation class child to definition, sorry, implementation child one implementation and class. In it we will implement our method one. So method display sales order and method and method. We will write our logic in it. So this is one class. Then we will have another class also. So class child to definition inheriting from parent and end class. In this particular class we will again declare another method public section methods display sales order redefinition, and I will again go for implementation of it class child to definition, sorry, implementation and we will implement our method here. So end class method display sales order and end method. In it we will simply write the logical part. So this is the declaration. Two header and item classes, sorry, two child classes for one parent template abstract class that we have created. This is the parent class abstract class that we have created, right? And in it we have one abstract method, a method without any implementation part. We don't have any implementation of this particular class. What we are doing, we are inheriting in child 1 and child 2 classes, and one will display my header details, another will display my item details. Okay, so to display it we will have to declare the internal table, and for declaring the internal table we need the structure also. So I will go for the structure declaration. I will go to VBAK table and I will declare the structure for its field. So VBAK table. Okay. Select the fields for which you want to declare the value. So I will select few fields here. Okay. Don't need this. Let's say take this one. Okay, I'm selecting 5 fields here. ERGDT, ERNUM and VB type. 5 fields I'm simply selecting. So types begin of UI sales order, or let's say TY BBAK, it will be more meaningful. So first column BBELN, type its data element, paste it here. Second column ERDAT, type its data element, ERDAT. Third column ERJDT, type its data element, ERJDT. Fourth column ERNUM, type its data element, ERNUM. Fifth column VB type its data element. Okay, simple declaration of structure. End of py underscore VBAK. So I have declared a structure for my sales order. You can take as many fields as you want, totally up to you. I am taking 5 fields from header. Then I will declare the structure for item. So types begin of item table. So VBAP table, its column names. Let's go to VBAP table, display VBLN, Posner, Matner, let's say Matcal. Okay, I'm selecting 4 fields from here. VBLN, type, its data element, VBVA, another field Posner, type, its data element, another field Matner, type, its data element, which is Matner, another field Matcal, type, its data element, Matcal. End of ty underscore VBAP. Right? So declaration of structure. Then we will create the internal table and work area for them. So data LTVBAK, type table of ty underscore VBAK, corresponding work area, VBAK, type ty VBAK. Then we will declare the item table also, type table of ty underscore VBAK, VBAP. Then work area declaration, type ty VBAP. Right? We have simply declared the internal table and corresponding work area. Then I will create a select option for it, in which we will take input. So LVVBLN, type its data element. This is the data element. Just copy it and paste it here. And I will declare one select option. So select option SVBLN for LVVBLN. Okay, let's activate it. I will go to text element and I will give a selection text for it. Range for employee ID, so that my user can understand this field label. Right? Then we will do the implementation part. So for header, we will write the logic for header data. Select VBELN, ERDAT, ERJDT, ERNUM, VBTYP from my header table, which is VBAK, into table LTVBAK, where VBLN in SVBLN. Right? This is my header query. Then I will go for item also. So select VBLN, Posner, Matner, and one more column is Matcal. So Matcal from VBAP table into table LT VBAP, where VBELN in S underscore VBELN. Right? Simple query for header also and for item also. So same method is same. It has been declared in the abstract class. Same method in the header. When you have implemented, the logic is for header, and for the item you have, when child 2 you have implemented, its logic is for item table. Same method. This is the beauty of polymorphism. Many forms. A method can take place differently in two different methods. Okay. So let's create two radio buttons, and based on it I will declare this. I will simply display the data. So parameters PR1, I will name it header. So type C radio button group R1. I will declare one more radio button here, PR2, type C radio button group R2. Okay. Simple declaration of method. Oh, group should always be one. It cannot be different. Yeah, no, it's fine. Then I will go to text element, and in the selection text I will give the name for them. So sales order header and sales order item. Sales order item, right? Based on these two radio button, we will display our data. We will simply display based on these two, right? Then I will declare the start of selection event. Start of selection. Create the object of both the classes. So hello header is equal to new child one, right? Child one. I will declare this to one class. Then I will go for another one. Hello item is equal to new child 2 class, right? Header and item object. So now I will go for if condition. So if PR1 equals to true, if we are selecting PR1, then we will display the header data. Otherwise, else if PR2 equals to true, we will display the item data. And if we will display the item data, right? So I will call header hello header and its method name. What is the name of the method? The name of the method is display sales order. This method, we will call it if the first one is true. If the first one is true, we will call it, and we will simply display the header data. So loop at LTVBAK into LSVBAK and loop, and we will simply display the data. So write LSVBAK, VBELN, LSVBAK, PRDAT, LSVBAK, PRJDT, LSVBAK, ERNUM, LSVBAK, VBTYP. These 5 fields. And the same thing we will do for item. If the second radio button I am selecting, I will display simply the item data. So hello item, call the method name display sales order, and we will display the item. So loop at LTVBAP here, right, into LSVBAP and loop, display the data. So write LSVBAP, VBELN, LSVBAP, Pojner, LSVBAP, Madner, LSVBAP, Matical. Right? Are you able to understand what is happening here? What we are doing? We have implemented a abstract class, right? This is a abstract class. The property of a abstract class is we should have at least one abstract method. We can have as many non-abstract method. We can display simply here. We can add here. Let's say I'm saying display data. We can add as many methods, no problem, but it must have one abstract method. One abstract method is mandatory. So I have simply declared one abstract method. Abstract methods implementation are always in the child classes. So whenever you inherit any child class from any abstract class, you always implement its, you will always redefine its method, and you are going to simply write the logic for it. So we have simply written the logic for both sales order header and sales order item. And then what we did, we created the object based on the radio button. I'm simply displaying it. So I'll put here debugger and I'm going to check. Let's debug it, execute. I will give here 1 to 3 entry. For sales order header, I will execute it. So desktop 3. Okay, so let's check it, F6. At this moment, we have the declaration. So let me check whether it's getting the object or not. Hello header. It has object of child and it is also inheriting the feature of the parent class, right? It is also inheriting the feature of the parent class. That's good. Then we will call this method. I will press F5. I will go inside it. This logic will be triggered and we will get the data in LTVBAK, right? Yes, we are getting 3 records in LTVBAK. It's perfectly fine. Then it will be displayed, loop will work and we are going to get our header data. Then we will go for item, sales order item. I will select this. I will go for execute button, desktop 3. Okay, and I will check whether my object is declared or not. Hello item. Yes, it has been declared. Yes, we are getting the object of child2 class. It is inheriting the feature of parent class and which itself is a inheriting the feature of object. That's fine. Then we will check whether it's working or not. We will go inside the method and we will check LTVBAP now. Yes, it is also getting records. We are getting the records. So I will execute it and I will get the data. See, we are getting the records, right? So it's working perfectly fine. This is the concept of your abstract classes and polymorphism. Is there any doubt here?
No.
Okay, is it clear?
Mhm.
All right. Then we have interfaces in ABAP. Yeah, OOABAP. Interface. Here the term itself is explaining everything. Interface. So what is an interface? An interface is a blueprint for a class. An interface is a blueprint for a class. It is a blueprint for a class. An interface is a blueprint for a class. What it does in interface, all methods are public by default. First thing, all methods are public by defaults. Then another one, in interface, all methods are abstract methods. All methods are abstract methods. So if you check, we also have a abstract class, right? In the abstract class, we have at least one abstract method, but in case of interfaces, all methods are abstract class. That is, there will be only implementation. Sorry, that is, there is only definition, but no implementation. Only definition part is there, but no implementation. There will be only definition, but no implementation. So certain differences are there between abstract and interface. Difference between difference between a abstract class and a interface. First, in abstract class we will have at least one abstract method, right? One abstract method, and others can be non-abstract method. But in case of interface, all methods are abstract. All of them. All methods are abstract. Okay, first problem. Then in abstract methods can be in abstract class. In abstract class, visibility of a method can be public, private, and protected. But if you check interface, all methods are by default public. By default public. All of them. All their methods are by default public. Okay, so what you can do, you cannot create any object of interface. First thing, we cannot create any object of interface. However, we can implement the interface in a class, and then we can create the object of the class. This is how you usually use the property of any interface. They are just the definitions, that's just the structure, logical structure. They don't have any definition, they don't have any implementation, they only have the definition part. Okay, let's create one interface and let's see that. So suppose I want to display employee data. Okay, let's take another requirement. Let's say I want to display material data. Display material master data. Okay, I will simply display material master data. Take input in form of select options, and then display the material master data. Okay, very simple requirement. Material master data. What is the material master table name, Mukul?
Where the master data for a material is saved, like the unit of measure and the material number, the description.
Yeah, what is the name of the table?
Oh, Mara?
Yeah, it's Mara. So table name is Mara. We can go and check the Mara table. We can use the fields and then accordingly we can display it. So let's logged out. Let me reopen. C38 interface OOABAP. interfaces. Executable package transport request. So first I will create the structure. Begin of ty Mara. Okay, I will go to S11. We'll check the Mara table. So I'm going to use few fields of it. Enum, pstat, mtart. So Matner is my primary key here. Matner material number, type Matner, ernum, type ernum, enum, type enum, and let's say pstat, type pstat, then I will go for mtart, type the data element mtart, and then we have mbrsh also. So mbrsh, type its data element, which is mbrsh. Okay, I will simply display it end of ty Mara. Then I will declare its data internal table and work area. So lt Mara, type table of ty underscore Mara, ls Mara, type ty underscore Mara. Simple declaration, right? Then we will declare the select option based on it. So data lv Matner, type its data element Matner, and I will create the select option for it. So select options as Matner for lv Matner, right? Activate it. I will simply give a name for this select option. So go to text element, selection text, a range for material number, okay. And then what I will do, I will declare the interface. I will simply declare the interface. So interface material, the interface material and interface all the methods are by default public here, so we don't need a public section. We will declare the methods here. Display material data, display material data. Okay, I'm simply declaring it. Then I will create a class. Let's say I will name it child, or what should I name it? Class material data, and class. In this class, I will declare the public section. Okay, I will declare the public section, and I will define the interfaces here. I will call the interfaces. So interfaces, the name of the interface material, call it here. Okay, class material data, definition part is missing. Okay, so definition will be there. Then we will have the implementation. So class material data implementation and class. Now there is certain differences in case of interfaces. You will have to use the name of the interface also if you are calling its method. If you are calling the method of interface, you will have to use the name of the interface also. So method, name of the interface, material, followed by tilde operator, and then you will pass the method name. Okay, then you will pass the method name here, and method. Now you can simply write the logic. You can simply write the logic here. So select query, all the fields, let's pass them here. Maintner, num, then enum, then pstat, right? Then we will have mtart, and then we will have mbrsh from mara table into table ltmara, where Maintner in sMaintner. Okay, sMaintner, right? Maintner in sMaintner. This is my implementation part. Then I will go for start of selection. I will declare the object of my local class. So allo material is equal to new. What is the class name? Material data. I will pass here class name material data, and then I will simply call its method. So allo material, I will call the method here arrow, name of our interface followed by its method. Simply call it, right? We are simply calling it. It will return me the data into LT-Maintner. So I'll simply do a loop at LT-Maintner into ls-Maintner. What is the name of our internal table? LT-Mara and ls-Mara. Okay, sorry, LT-Mara into ls-Mara. A loop on it, and I will display the data. So write statement ls-Mara Maintner ls-Mara num ls-Mara enum ls-Mara pstat ls-Mara mtart ls-Mara mbrsh. Okay, simply displaying it, right? Let's check it. Activate. I have given a text element or not. Let me check. Yes, I have given. All right, so fine. So I will put here debugger, and I'm going to check. I will pass a material here. So mat, here mat1. Okay, I'm going to pass this up to here mat. Let's say 15. I will click on execute. So desktop 3, we are creating the object of our material class. We are getting the object material data. That's fine. Then we will call this method. We will go inside this method. This method will return me records. Yes, it is returning me the records here. All the records in the perfect columns, and I will simply display it. Right? I will simply display it. Are you able to understand what is interface? Why do we need it?
Yes.
Is it clear? Any questions here?
No.
Okay. So this is interface. Then we have events in object-oriented programming also. Here we also have events in object-oriented programming. Oriented programming. Events in object-oriented programming. So, Alan, what is event? You remember what are the classical report events we have seen there?
Yes, like when the user performs an action, for example, like clicking a button.
So, an event is triggered, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what kind of events we had in classical report?
Like on click.
On click.
Like when he selects run, right?
I am simply asking events of classical report.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. We had 9 to 10 events there. Then we had events in classical interactive report also, right?
Yes. The add selection screen, maybe?
Yeah, but that selection screen was not the starting one, right? We had initialization, then add selection screen, then start of selection, end of selection, top of page, end of page, add selection screen on value request, and add selection screen on help request, right? Then in our interactive classical report, we had at line selection, at user command, then top of page during line selection. Then in our module pool, we also have 4 events: PBO, PAI, POH, POV, right? Then we have object-oriented programming. So here the concept of event is a little bit different. In object-oriented programming, what you see in object-oriented programming, using event, method of one class can call the method of another class. Method of one class can call the method of another class. This is the use of event in object-oriented programming. So what you see here for events, we will have to raise the event. And then we will handle the event. First we will do the raising of event, and then we will do the handling of the event, right? So we will have to raise the event. Same thing when you as a user, when you do the click on it, what you see, a event is raised, and based on it a event handler logic has been written in the backend, which activated and which is executed at that particular time. Here also the same thing is happening, but in the different concept. We have, using event, we can call the method of another class from method of one class, right? So for event, we will have to raise the event, and then we will simply handle that particular event. Is it clear? So we have 3 steps here for events in object-oriented programming. Steps for event handling. First, we will have a triggering method here. Triggering method. Okay. So it is a method. Which will raise the event. This is going to simply raise the event. Okay. This is known as triggering method. Then we will have a event handler method. So it will handle the event. Now both these methods belong to two different classes, right? So we will have to simply register this event handler method to the object of triggering method class. So we will have another one, register the event handler method using set handler statement. This is a keyword. So using this statement, what we will do, we will register the event handler method with object of triggering class. Three steps we must follow for event in case of our object-oriented programming. Register the event handler method using set handler statement and with object of triggering class. Okay, right? So again, I will take a simple example. Requirement, very simple requirement. Display sales order data, or let's say this time I'll display employee data. And if the input is wrong, we will display a message or text using the concept of events in object-oriented programming. This is the requirement which I am taking now. Okay, let's see that. I will go and create one class. SE38 events in OOABAP. Events in object-oriented programming. So as usual, I will simply create the structures. Begin of ty employee, column names, type its data element, column name, type its data element, column name, type its data element, column name, type data element, end of ty employee. Right, I will declare the internal table and work area. Type table of ty employee, ls employee, type ty employee. Right, there should be no doubt now declaring in the internal table and work area. This is the usual thing which we always do. Then I will create a select option again. So lvmpid, type its data element, and I will simply declare the select option sempid for my local variable. Right, simple declaration. Go to text element and selection text, range for employee ID. Okay, now I will create my class. So class employee data definition. This is my class. I will have public section here. I will declare one methods. So method display employee, Then I will declare one event here. So events, let's say wrong input I will declare, and end class. Then I will have the implementation class employee data implementation end class, and then I will have its method here, method display employee and method. I will simply write the selection logic, select EMP ID, EMP name, department, another column manager from my table name, into table LT employee, where EMP ID in SEMP ID, right? Then I will give a if condition if LT employee is empty. So if it is initial, I will raise this event. This is my triggering method. So raise event wrong input. I will simply raise this event wrong input here, right? Check it, activate it. So wrong input here, I am raising it. So this is my triggering method. I have declared it and I am raising it. So this is one class in which I am raising it. Then the second step, I will have event handler method. I need a event handler. So I will declare one more class here. Class, I will name it event handler here. And class, definition and class. In this class, I will declare the public section and I will declare the event handler method. So method event and what should we say? Let's say wrong employee, and we will declare it. So wrong employee methods wrong employee for event name wrong input. What is the name of the event? Wrong input of class name employee data. Wrong input of class name, which is employee data. This is event handler method. Now you will implement this event handler. So class event handler implementation and class declare implement the event handler method here. So wrong employee and method. I will simply display one write statement here. You have entered wrong employee ID. Okay, I will display this message whenever I will not get any data in my internal table. So this is the second step, event handler logic. Declared one event handler method for the event of this class and we have implemented it. Now we will go for start of selection. Declare the object of both classes. So allo event handler is equal to new class name event handler, right? Class name event handler. Then we will have the first method. So allo obj sorry, what is should be it? Employee. Okay, so I'm going to name it employee. Allo employee is equal to new employee class. Not it is. What is the name of the class? Employee data. Employee data. Okay. Employee data, right? Then we will do the set handling. So this is my third step, register the event handler. So register the event handler. So we use set handler. Set handler, what is the event handler method? Wrong employee. And what is the object of this class? LO event handler. So LO event handler here, its method name wrong employee for the object of my employee data class. So for the object of employee data class. This is the third step, handling. Register the event handler using this set handler statement. Register the event handler using this set handler statement, right? Activate it. Now once it is done, you can simply call your employee display employee method of employee data class and you can check it. So hello employee, I will display the employee, call the method, and I will loop and display the data. So loop at lt employee into ls employee and loop and simply display the data. So write statement ls employee employee id ls employee employee name ls employee department ls employee manager. Okay, manager, right? Same thing. So let's check it out and activate it. So I will simply put here debugger and I am going to check what is going to happen. Execute. I will pass here first correct input 105. Execute it. Go for desktop 3 here. Now see here, I'm getting object first event handler object. Yes, for event handler class. Then my LO employee, it should be of employee data class. Yes, it is of employee data class. This set handler is simply doing the registering part. Then we have this employee display employee method. It is getting called. So I'll go and check. I'll press F5. Yes, this select logic is getting triggered. So at this moment there is no record. I will execute this select query and I'm getting 5 record. So it is not empty. So this should not be called, right? It is not getting called. And this loop will execute and I will get the data, right? I'm getting the records. But what if I will pass the wrong value here? So let's say I'm passing here wrong value now. Let's say I'm passing here wrong value now and I will go for execute button. Okay, desktop 3 here. Now let's check it out. So we are calling this method. I will go inside it. I will go inside it and I will check this query. This query is returning me Sai Sabarsi 4. It simply means that this query is not returning any data. If you will check, it is empty, no records. So it is initial. This event will be triggered. This event will be triggered. Yes, we are at line 37. This event will be triggered and we will go to event handling logic. See here. See, you have entered wrong employee ID, right? We are getting the same thing that we have implemented here. Is this the concept of event clear in object-oriented programming?
Yes.
Any questions here?